Hello everyone, this is Liz with Crafty Devotion. I'm going to wait, see if a couple of people come. I didn't know advertisements for this, but I realized that it was quiet in the house. My husband took my 5-year-old to VBS, Vacation Bible School, and I'm really working on my next wreath. Customer ordered again. She saw a previous wreath I had made that had sold before, and she said she wanted something similar. And this time it is not a heart. It's a regular wreath. It's not complete, but I realized, oh, I could probably bring it. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I see about 5 people have joined us. I'm just showing you my project. I have been doing a lot of wreaths because I have a customer who has ordered wreaths, and this is, I think, her 4th order. So this wreath itself is sold, and I'm making a custom design for my customer. And hi, Sarah. Welcome to my channel. As I've told you guys before, I'm not doing a lot of tutorials lately. My plate is full, but I decided to once in a while come online and just show you what I'm making or designing. Um, this piece is not completed yet. I still have a little more work on it. I've pretty much done a lot of the work, but because I realized, oh, I should show my customers where I'm at so far because um, my husband took my son to Vacation Bible School, and it's actually quiet in the house. And I said, hey, it's quiet for once. So I thought I'd take about 10 minutes or so and just go through what I've done so far. And I'm actually almost done. I'm going to finish making this. Oh, what is that on the edge of my stick? It looks like a flower. Isn't that funny? Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to do a little bit more work up here on this wreath. But as you can see, I've pretty much did so much fullness here on this section. I'll do a little close up. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I will try and see if I see them because when I get comments, it disappears. I do not know how to fix that. I've tried. Who knows? I'm sure I should Google it and it'll probably tell me how to do it. But so far from a distance, let's see if I can show you the tail. It's a beautiful long tassel tail and it's pretty wide. I've been making them wider lately. Um, Hi from Finland. Hi, Agata. Well, welcome. This is where I'm at so far. And believe it or not, my tassel is filled with fabrics, scraps, and beautiful stuff. I do a combination of things when I do it, when I create my designs, and I kind of blend colors, and I may still add something to this tassel. Thank you, Agatha. But I'm not 100% sure. But I basically will, like, after it's all completely done, I'll say, okay, well, it needs more pearls, or it needs more this, or it needs more that, and then I'll add it. And she wanted very lush. Hello from Chile, Flor Elisa. Buenos dias. Um, well, I guess it is almost before lunch for me. It's 11 o'clock here. So what I've done is, as you can see, I actually went and I pulled out flowers that, because I like gold and red together. That's one of my favorite color combinations. So I pulled out any flowers I had made already, and we have little bits of cream in here too, off whites and creams. She liked the doilies because the one she saw had doilies in it, which was more, I think I did it more about bohemian colors, that last one that I did. So this one is following that same thing. And she said she wanted to look lush and elegant. Does it look lush and elegant, guys? I hope it does because when it begins, it doesn't always look lush and elegant until I keep on adding and adding and adding to it. As you can see, I've actually put a few blings in some of the flowers. I may add more. It looks like almost everything has a bling. But I want to get a close-up because I like to show you the different textures I use. One of the things that makes the beauty come out of what I use is that I use a variety of textures and color combinations, but I try to keep a little bit of symmetry. As you can see, I'm not trying to be symmetrical, but I did end up putting this is right here is an applique, I do not know if I have that in my shop. I've used that several times on my angels also, and I don't know if I have put any in my shop yet, but I do have some of these if you really want them. It's actually a collar, and I cut the collar apart. As you can see, the collar here and the collar here. I'll give a close up in a little bit. And there's a piece here. That's the collar. I love reds and golds. Um, this is actually a pre-made flower. I just have a few in my stash. But I'll get a little closer because most of these flowers are handmade. So here is another puff flower I've done with silk. This is a piece of silk and it's a silk taffeta. And I've made it into a puff flower and I added a doily center with a large bling just to bring it out, as you can see. And I actually placed, if you can see, I choose to cover the center a little bit, and you can see this is a large hole, but I actually let things flow over. That's just my style. This is the style I come up with, and you can see it has a few little shabbies coming out of it. This one didn't fray as much as some of the others I have. Here is a rolled flower, one of the flowers that I made last time. I showed you on the flower making how to make these, but I used lace fabric for this one, and it was actually, I had made it before and it was in my stash. Hello. Oh, thank you. Sarah says that she thinks it looks luscious. That's good because that's what I was going for. My customer somehow, she's going through some difficulties. She doesn't respond as often as but I do when I have a custom order. In during the transitions, I kind of do send my customer photos, and this customer really enjoys the photos. She actually enjoys these videos too. So I'm blessed that I have a customer who's ordered several, and thank you. Um, and here is actually another flower, and you can see it's velvet. And I use a la Liz technique for this, and I just cut it and I singe the edges. And you can see that's what it came out like. And this was also I had pre-made a long time ago, but it went with the color theme scheme. And here is one of the appliques. I have these appliques. I use them, and if you really are interested in this applique, and you don't find in my shop, let me know, and I'll add a couple in my shop because I do have multiples of this piece. And over here, I made this flower specifically for this because I had used this satin fabric in the wreath itself. In the wreath itself, you'll see some satin here, and that's the same fabric here that I made one of the, like a rose with the a la Liz technique. This here is a doily, and this doily, believe it or not, before I started, it was very yellow. Now, one of the tips I can give you on that is that here's another doily. Let me show it to you here. You see this doily? It was very yellow also. And what I did is I tea dyed them. When I found that if you tea dye the yellow doily, they actually look more mustard gold looking. So if you ever have a very yellow doily and you want to use it, I might steam this still a little more later because I did tea dye it, then I dried it in the dryer, and I may steam it a little bit before I'm done so that it spreads out a little more. But those are the doilies. Let me see any other flowers. Okay, so as you can see here, this is add the lushness. I also where's my fingers in the way? I added let me get close up of that. That is also velvet, a velvet piece of velvet that I have. I didn't have that much, but I thought that color went well. So I made a velvet rose out of, and I have several of those around, and I might add a couple more. Here is another one I had in my stash that I had made before, and it is made out of a thin, probably it feels like a thin satin that I probably got from Walmart. And I just made had made a large flower with it. When you singe the edges, they darken up. You can see how pretty that looks. And I decided to put a cameo in the middle because she likes the cameos, and that adds to the Victorian look. And I mix things up. It's not all the same like style. Over here you can see the center. I have these. I do sell these in my shop, in my Etsy shop. because now I also have an eBay shop, which is new that I'm putting vintage items in, or not really vintage. In the eBay shop are more new things I find that I might be experimenting with. But I also have vintage in my Etsy shop. But this is just a cameo I carry, and you can see the beautiful rose. And this is a filigree, and I think I have some different sets of those roses in my shop. Um, I think this piece right here is actually a pre-made flower that I sometimes use as a filler, and I let how the colors blended. And this piece here, you can see reds. You can see how I stick different things in and let a lot of the colors pop out. See over here? And there's another velvet, one of the small velvets, and this is a handmade flower I made with a la Liz technique using like I love to use like the liner fabrics are really thin and synthetics, and I do find some at Walmart, different places, and they make beautiful flowers when you do the a la Liz technique and you singe them. And I had made this a long time ago because it even has one of my vintage looking earrings in there as the center, and I left that in there because I like to. You can see I do the variety of different. I'm using a variety of colors. Some of them are gold, some of them are vintage gold. These right here is like the silver, and it'll probably in time tarnish. It's the newer brooches that I have in my shop. I have lots of brooches, and I actually sold almost all of them out. So um, that's what that is. And over here, you can see I actually use some of the fringe. This fringe I have in my shop. Let me see. I think I have a piece over here. Let me get it. This is a beautiful fringe. It's a curtain fringe I have it in my shop. Let me see. That's a little further away. You can see it. It's in my shop right now. I have it, and you can buy it by the yard, but you can see you don't have to use it just the way it is. You can use it to add texture and what's it called when you get little fibers and things to add to your flowers. And so here I decided to just use it as a little filler, and I just rolled a little piece. I just rolled a little piece and then I stuck it in there, and then I kind of move it around. So you can see I added texture, and I may add a little more of that maybe over here in this section. I'm not sure. This is not complete, but um, over here you can see there's another piece of that doily. And this is a doily that was a beautiful doily that I had cut. I think I cut it up during my series on how to use doilies, and then I still had this lace, and it's beautiful. It looks like a netting, and I added it on the sides. You can see, and here's another rolled rose that I made. This is out of satin, not satin, I'm sorry. This is silk. Actually, it's a piece of silk that I turned into a rose and more. And this is a beautiful fabric that I have, and it has reds, golds, and it actually is, what is it called? I don't know. Here's a piece that you could see a little bit more what it looks like. See, it has a lot of colors in it, but I let the colors come out, but I didn't let them be intense because it's not really the exact style. So it's a vintage fabric, but it's new and it's kind of thick. I just have it because I think I got it from my sister. So let me talk a little bit about the fabrics I used in the main part of the wreath here. I used a variety of fabrics. So here you'll see this is a satin. This here is silk. This is a piece of silk taffeta, and I use these in one of my dress kits. So it's more of a rusty red, but it was enough red that it will bring all the colors together. And this is the best doily I had here that was in red. I had to really stretch it a lot to fit in there, and it looks good. And I'm trying to bring out some of those colors. So the red in this is not like burgundy red, but like a mixture between red and burgundy. So the colors, I'm trying to bring them out. Up here, I'm planning to use, as you can see right here, they're just pinned. This is just pinned down. This is a piece of an applique that I've taken apart a little bit, and I'm planning to add it along the edges here, just to, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it. There's a pin. That blue is just a pin. So I'll be adding that. And up here, I've pinned on another applique that I'm thinking of doing, and then I chose this beautiful piece of brooch. It's a beautiful brooch, and I really thought that the golds and the little bits of almost what's it called? It's not coffee. That's about almost red. I have glue on the tips of my fingers. And I think that that's going to pull this all together also. I was going to put a cameo up there, but that is just a gorgeous brooch. I think that will look pretty and bring in the colors. And I was able to put a cameo on the bottom. So there you go. All right.